So I've wanted to farm for a very long time, and I wanted to garden for a long time. And when we were told that when stay-at-home orders were put into place, I really wanted to. Right before that, I wanted to work on a farm part-time or start like volunteering at a farm, because I've had this sort of academic interest in plants and in growing, but didn't really quite know how to do it myself. And so I had this sort of love of it through like drawing and through like reading about it, but didn't know the actual act of it or like all that it takes to do it, except just a little bit. I worked at a farm 3 years ago for a summer. And then when around that time is when I started reading about all the food banks that were really overwhelmed, and all the just like the general food insecurity in this region, which I think if you're living on Spring Street you can imagine is not there at all, but it is like an economically depressed region, which is not something that is palpable at the heart of this campus at least. And so I would walk past this area and then I would like ask about, you know, what happens here. And then it just seemed that instead of just kind of wringing my hands about it and not really doing something just because like the impact wouldn't be grand enough, like what I can do is not enough at all. I really wanted to at least get a start on it so that I would begin to get the experience I need for doing this at a bigger scale in the following years and be more effective. And so that's really why I wanted to start doing this as like a self-education, and also figuring out that if this is something I want to do, what does it really take to do it? I got so many books on gardening, like so many books on seed starting. I've watched so many videos about it. I enrolled in like classes online for it because I didn't know anything. I knew very, very little, and I was nervous about everything. As things started growing, I remembered that, of course, all of these things want to grow just as much as I want them to grow, and they have their own life force and they have their own direction in life. It's not, I can be a steward, but they are seeds that have a full purpose, just like how I can go through life and things will aid me, but they can't like completely stop me. Like a tomato plant that we planted in the beginning was about this big and only took up this much room. And at this moment, if you look behind us, it's about 5 feet in width. So being able to kind of be imaginative with what you see, even if you don't see it right in front of you. So a lot of like envisioning, which I just didn't know how to do. And now I feel like I know that. And then also that it is something that you share with everybody who's walking past. It's not just a private endeavor, it's something where you're like really getting involved with a much bigger way in which the world lives, and you're just like dipping yourself into it. First is this, I planted this bed yesterday, and it's just filled with seeds, and this is something I really love because right now, if when I was looking at something like this 3 months ago, I would have felt so insecure and really upset. Like I kind of was nervous all the time that nothing would happen and that I would let everybody down and that everybody would be embarrassed by this massive failure, because I was so worried that nothing would grow. And now I'm so excited now of all the things that are going to emerge from right here. Love this corn very much, and what is eating my corn as we speak are these Japanese beetles. They are considered invasive species in the US. I don't really like the term invasive species because I feel like it's something that we say with like insects and plants, but people move in similar ways and people adapt to different places. So I don't know if we should draw this distinction when it comes to other creatures. is actually this trellis, which is a flexible trellis because I built it really late, so it's not very strong. But the good thing is that because it's so flexible, when the storm happened, it didn't break because it could move, which is one of my favorite metaphors in general of things that don't move because they can bend, things that don't break because they can bend. So this. What I would really like, what my dream would be, is if we could just have more ownership over where we are and where the land that is closest to us and what we can do on it. If we didn't have to get permission from whoever says they own that land, especially if it's right by our homes. Like what's really sad is like homeowners associations where they don't let you garden in a lawn that you might have, or like that can't change, or that doing something that is so life-giving and actually produces food that can be eaten and gives so much to butterflies and gives so much to me, that something like this shouldn't be just the simplest thing to do. That's what I feel. That's what I feel like a lot of things that relate to sustainability are not difficult to do. They're just things that, and they're not even more expensive to do. They're just things that require a change in your lifestyle and a change in what you think things should look like, how much you should have, what materials you should have, what the material landscape is like. And I just wish that that hurdle could go away, and I just wish everybody would take a walk through this space and realize how easily attainable it is and easily can be recreated. Because this is we are all beginner gardeners and we've done this, and we could only get better and better over the years. And so I just wish, I just want it to be easier to do this kind of work, and for people to have leisure, the time to do it, for work days to be such that you can actually spend 2 to 3 hours doing this every day, where it's not something you have to do secretly, where it's not something you get fined for doing. Yeah, that's what I